Welcome back to Pink Table Confidential. This is where grown women come to get real, be heard, and maybe even get snatched up just a little bit in the process. Now today, y'all, it's a special one. I've been running around. You got to forgive me, okay? Now, it is a special one because we are getting near to the closing of our series. But don't worry, because Pink Table, y'all, this is only just the beginning. You know that this show is always and forever sponsored by Sweet Kitty Club, and that is where I make feminine care products for the girls who like to keep kitty, sweet. By sweet, we mean clean ingredients for good hygiene. Head over to sweetkittyclub.com. You're going to use code PINKTABLE at checkout and thank me later, okay? Now, for those who have been tuning in to our previous shows, thank you. Whether you commented, liked, whatnot, I cannot take it for granted. Y'all, incredible things are happening. And last week, we talked about being the villain in someone else's story. This week, cousin, if you're standing up, I need you to sit down, okay? Don't run when I say this. But what if the problem is you? Not your friends, not your man, not your job, girl, but you, okay? And I'm not saying that to judge. I'm just saying that somebody who has absolutely been the problem before, that's me, I can tell you, not what I heard, but what I know. And today we're going to be unpacking what it looks like to take a real good look in the mirror and say, you know what, I might have been the drama. And because I don't believe in suffering alone, I had to bring somebody to the table with me. She's honest, she's introspective, and she hit me up with, girl, I just had this whole conversation with myself. So y'all, please, 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 allow me to introduce you guys to my guest, Miss Mesia Davis. Mesia, please introduce yourself for the people.
Well, first off, thank you so much, Montanna, for bringing up these conversations to us and allowing us a space where we can be honest and be real about it. I am a Fort Worth native, mom, and more than anything, I consider myself just a spirit being who's having a human experience. I'm just trying to figure out how to walk on this earth and be 100% myself and just accept everybody else for exactly who they are. So that's why this conversation, as soon as you ask about it, I was like, yeah, this is it.
You was ready for it.
I was ready, girl.
What was like when you first heard the conversation that we were going to be having? Mm-hmm. Like, what was your first thought? Like, what came to your mind initially?
I mean, just knowing that, seeing how we spend so much of our lives not being accountable for whatever our problems are, we love to project and place the blame on someone else. Right. It's my parents did this, or my spouse is not doing this, or my kids are making me feel like this, when in reality a lot of it is just that we are not being honest about who we are or what we want in our lives, or going for that thing that we want in our lives, or we've not taken the time to be introspective, like you said, and think about, just go back over our past and our history and say, you know what, I keep doing the same thing over and over again. Maybe it's me.
Maybe it's me. Right. That's exactly where this conversation is going. But before we go there, y'all, why did I find out, like, moments before we went on the air, that Mesia is from Fort Worth? I was like, what? Like, y'all know, if you from Dallas, you already know, like, Dallas and Fort Worth being in the same building, it's like, baby, Mesia gonna have the nerve for the Dallas girls. Don't come at Mesia, because Mesia cool, okay? So don't come for her. But why she tell me that the Dallas girls, what you say, we was hood?
Baby, if y'all don't know y'all hood, like, I don't know what to say. Dallas is definitely more hood than Fort Worth. Fort Worth, you know what they call Fort Worth is where the West began. So Fort Worth is country. We still have the stockyards. We still do the cattle drives twice a day. So you can come see the cows with the steer walking down the street. Y'all are hood, but in the best way possible. My best friend is from Dallas. Love her. She's 10 toes down. She's focused. She's goal oriented.
Okay, so now she's trying to clean. It's okay. Get it cleaned up, Mesia. Get it cleaned up. It's okay. It's okay.
Now, y'all, real talk. I feel like what you just said about us being cousins, I tell people that all the time. Fort Worth and Dallas, we touch. We're a border. Like, we're the same people. We share so much. That's why it's DFW Airport.
So do you come to Dallas? Or, like, do you
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Y'all come over here. We don't go 20.
Okay, let me tell you. So you said 20. I would tell people 30 because
Okay.
30 is just like 30 in Dallas, downtown Fort Worth, but it initiated in Fort Worth and moved over. But no, people are coming to Fort Worth now because they're shooting movies in Fort Worth. We have the like scenes and production and stuff that's going on there.
Okay,
the food, girl, come on, don't hate, don't hate, Montana.
Okay.
You're trying it.
Okay, y'all. Well, look. Before we get deep in this thing, we got to get some hot topics. Now, did you know, girl, that Beyonce, one of her vehicles that two of her teammates were driving, somebody stole a drive that had a lot of information on it. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, but they're saying that there was a $500,000 reward. So if you find that suitcase with Beyonce's unreleased music, baby, you done hit a gold mine.
Girl, do you feel like it was a setup?
Well, what I do know is somebody finna get fired.
Already fired. It's already done. They already done. Yep, they already done. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, they definitely they are done. I bet. I said, "Ooh!" When I saw it, I was like, I would hate to be them.
That would have never happened in Fort Worth.
Well, first of all, it happened in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Let's say that it happened in Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know what I said? I ain't gonna lie. When I heard it,
yes.
I said, I'm so glad that shit didn't
happen. It didn't happen here.
It came to Texas. Like,
yeah.
Boo, that's them Atlanta scammers and boosters and juggers that got you. Not.
But they said that's common in Atlanta. They said breaking in the cars is common in Atlanta.
But I kind of feel like that was either an inside job.
Yeah.
Or somebody was watching. Like, how would, just to get that? I mean, because I'm sure this SUV wasn't parked in no bad part of ATL. I'm pretty sure it was somewhere where it was supposed to be.
Which is absolutely where people would break in. Because I know this is where I'm not going to break in a vehicle where anybody got no money.
But I would think that the places that are like that.
Yes.
Would be like top-notch security. Because, yes, they want their guests to know that. No,
those are places that don't have security. You put security where crime occurs. In a place where they're not having security because this is the high-end mall, or this is, we have these stores over here. Our people are affluent. We don't need security like that over here. Yes, you do, boo. You gonna get security now.
Well, hey. Anyway, like I said, somebody done lost their job, baby. They are filing unemployment as we speak, okay? Do me a favor, pull your mic down just a little bit.
Okay.
I want to make sure we see your pretty face, okay?
Oh, thank you.
Something else that has been happening on these internet streets. Now, I'm going to tell you, Misha and anybody else, ain't nothing Nicki Minaj can do to make me hate her, okay? If she is spazzing out on Twitter, girl, I don't care. If she is spazzing out, Misha, it is a reason for it. Number one, let me just say this. I do like SZA. I do. But SZA, this is something you need to know. For SZAs, for SZAs and the SZAs out there. Sometimes you just got to touch your nose and ask it, why is it in other people's business? Because, see, now you got shots fired at you that you could have prevented if you just would have stayed in your place.
But what did she do?
So apparently, Nicki has been on a rampage from Jay-Z to his CEO of Rock Nation, which her daughter has been, spilling the tea on her. And so I don't know how SZA's bodyguard, or I don't know if he's a bodyguard or a manager. I think he's a manager. I forget his name. I'm sorry, I forget his name off the top of my head, but she was coming for him. SZA has not posted in over a year on Twitter. Decided to come out of Twitter retirement to defend this manager from whatever it was Nicki said. And Nicki let her have it. And it's crazy.
Okay, so I saw something that said that Nicki read or heard something, and that whatever it is she read or heard had something to do with a song. She thought that somebody was saying something toward her, but it had nothing to do with her. Okay. It had to do with a song, and that she misinterpreted. But, okay, so here's the thing. First, I was going to say, why is it that a black woman in a position of being able to support her sister would have to come at her like that? First, I was going to say that. Then, I'm thinking what I think about a lot of these celebrity beefs. Is this really just for them to get some press?
I mean, it could be.
Okay.
It could be, but the people know, like, don't... Nikki sometimes, you know, for the most part, it's like when Nikki goes on these rants, I mean, she's pretty much talking to herself.
Oh, okay. She's a monster. She's the monster. That's what she's the monster.
Misha, I have a little bit of Nikki in me, a little bit of Nikki. This is the little bit of, this is what I mean. Mm-hmm. I feel like Nikki, and this is just me, and y'all can differ. I don't give a damn. If you ain't a Barb, you don't know. You don't understand. Okay? But the Barbs get it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes because you say she a monster, then don't motherfucking poke the bear. Okay? And sometimes people be poking, and then when you poke back, it's like, well, why is she poking? Well, what was you doing just 5 minutes ago? And Nikki is like that. Nikki, in my opinion, she gonna show you how a bitch come down the slide. Okay. You want to play? Okay, we're going to play. We're going to play. And she does not back down. She don't give a damn how crazy she sounds. She don't care. Once you are the target, you are the target. And I don't understand why people would want to, like, mess with that.
See, I don't even think SZA came from her. Because what she's saying, if that's the way Nikki is, I feel like SZA's in such a peaceful place right now. She's floating. She's, on her tour or off the tour and did really great at it. She came out of her shell, whatever she was going through. So I feel like she wouldn't come at Nikki. That's why
Nikki exposed SZA and posted 3 tweets that SZA posted in 2011 where she was talking shit about Beyonce, Rihanna, and Ciara. Okay. And and it's kind of interesting because Nikki's thing is, you talked all this shit about them, and then look at your ass now, like you want to do. You're all about collabs and you're a girl's girl, but just in 2011. You had this shit. Like, this is what I was talking about last week when I was talking about performative feminism. It's like, okay, when the camera is on, when it looks good, when it's a moment for you to, I'm a girl's girl and I'm gonna, all women power and we gotta band together, But then just, now, a few, streets back. Yeah. You were, you had these things to say when you weren't, because people weren't looking at you. You weren't on the radar then. So you felt safe to say these things.
14 years ago.
Well, I just want people to leave Nikki alone. Okay. I just want y'all to leave her alone. Please.
Well, we gotta say put the bear back to sleep. That's what it is. Tell Nikki to go back in hibernation. And we'll wait till she comes out with some music because we don't want to hear her rant. We want to see her like a dragon or whatever she be doing. We're gonna wait on that.
Girl,
I like Nikki.
Misha,
I do.
You're gonna come to the pink table, and you're not gonna do that.
I want pink for the pink table. I like Nikki. I'm not a Barb, but I like her.
Okay. Well, you know what's something else? We're gonna get off Miss Nikki, okay? But something else that has been going on that is really interesting is, so a couple of weeks ago, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, okay, remember her? She was on a show, Truth Be Told. Paul Pierce's podcast. She was doing her thing. Paul Pierce, he came ready for her. Okay, y'all know Dr. Cheyenne. She came in there and she was, dropping her gems. Okay, her dating gems, and he could not wait for her to. He let her get it all out. And it's so funny. Did you get to watch the interview or parts of it?
Yes.
He let her, like, really go. And I really was like, okay, this is safe. This is really going to be safe. He let her get good and ready. See, when dudes, when they lean back in their seat and they put it's like he was getting ready.
He was ready, babe. He just needed a foot in the door.
He needed a foot in the door, y'all.
That's it.
He waited for Dr. Cheyenne to drop them gems, and then he hit her with, "Why are you still single?" I want y'all to take a listen to this and tell me what you think.
I am dating
but single.
enjoying my life. I have really good companions.
How many are you dating right now?
I'm not exclusively committed to anyone, but I have one guy that I have dated off and on for 5 years.
I got her.
We dated for 5 years.
But when you do it, will it play back?
For 5 years? You
can put it together?
You still his work?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I know what's going on now. I'm about to, we're going to take this sheep clothing off.
Right, the wolf teeth coming out. No, we
He
have
was somebody's work for 5 years.
We have been each other's companion for 5 years, and yeah, I have spent the block for 5 years, and it's the truth. And he doesn't like it. He's absolutely correct. He feels like I haven't provided.
Oh, your work.
We working together. Okay. We working together.
But you keeping him at bay. Or is he keeping you at bay?
He wants a relationship. He wants to be committed.
You just like the sex.
No. Oh.
Let's keep it 100. How you keep somebody for 5 years? That's like for real. You can't keep nobody at a distance for 5 years. I ain't never done no shit like that.
I am not vitamin D deficient,
No,
everything is good in that department.
No.
He wants a relationship.
She done kept him on the side until she figured out if it's something better. I see where this is going.
He just has some emotional maturity that he had to do. We're 9 years apart. He's 9 years younger than me. And so we both had to work through things, but he's had to work on his emotions and his intense insecurities around being in a relationship.
And you've been waiting on it. Like what's the problem? Why y'all not together?
Just because of that,
you waiting.
In the interview, I mean, at the beginning of the podcast, she was talking about removing her IUD. She is what is she, 42?
I don't know her age, but I know what she was saying, that the gentleman that she's dating is like 9 years younger than her and not emotionally ready, or has not been emotionally ready, but he's been working on himself and she's been working him, obviously.
But I still kind of feel like if you're not in the marriage that you want to be in, why are you removing your IUD? She has been, because that's been part of her platform. You know, she's saying she wants the full shebang. She wants the marriage and the family. She wants the marriage first. So I'm just like, girl,
it sounds good. But then, like you said, when you start talking about age, well, eggs don't last forever. And then she's out in the world. She's among people who are out living their lives, and she's seeing people having kids.
Paul Pierce said that she's cooked.
Oh.
And so that's a term that he says is for seasoned women. Yeah. Okay, you're cooked. You're ready to be devoured.
Yeah.
You're ready. You know, you're not. He said when he's a cook, so he said he likes to marinate his meat. So when you're marinating, you're not ready.
Oh.
You know?
But she's ready.
She's cooked.
Cooked means is she ready or is she done?
No, he's saying that cooked for him means she's ready.
Oh, okay.
But this is why you really have to be, careful about the relationships that you choose. Because you really, honestly, you sometimes you get in these relationships with people and you think you know them and you don't know them. Okay, we just lost 2 black men here in Dallas because of, broken relationships. Okay, one was unalived by a woman he had a restraining order against, who came to his job, and the other one by a business partner and a baby mama,
who had a restraining order against him.
She had a restraining order against him. And she unalived him while he was in the barber's chair getting a haircut, and then pulled the gun on herself as the police were coming. Now let me just say something real quick about that. I purposely, didn't want to mention his name, and the reason why is because, I mean, for every, if you're in Dallas, you already know who he is, okay? Credit repair. But the thing I want to say, y'all really have to be careful about, especially, if you are a business owner, whether you are a service-based or a product-based business, keep your business and your name, like your name is all you really have. Like that's your legacy.
That's it.
Is your name.
Yep.
This man's family cannot grieve him properly because every time you see a post about his death and you go in the comments, there are people in there calling him scammers. These are past customers, people he's done business with that don't paint him in the light of a good business person, and it really, like, seeing this unfold, for the last few days, really, just even for me, like, I know my name is good, and I that would hurt me to know that so many people,
felt that way, right?
That way.
Yeah, but then, like you said, that's the way you operate, though. So I say the same thing for me in business is sometimes, even though I've done it, I've been in real estate for like 20 years, right? And so still there are moments that I have imposter syndrome where it's like, do I know how to do this?
Imposter syndrome is.
So imposter syndrome is doubting yourself about your ability to do something or how good you do something. How well do you know this industry that you're in, whatever that may be, even in relationships, whatever it is, you're not certain, you're not confident that you do great at what you do, when in reality, most of us are really solid at what we do. Because I know I'm really solid at my business. But imposter syndrome, when you're doubting yourself and not confident in yourself, you hold back on what it is you're able to do instead of pushing yourself forward. So that's what I'm saying about imposter syndrome. When, like we're talking about in this situation, there are people who are actually out doing things harmful to clients and not being truthful or being dishonest with people or scamming, whatever it is. The thing about it for me is realizing everything catches up with you at some point.
Yes.
So you get away with it, you feel like you're doing great and you get away with it for as long as you can because the people that you're working with oftentimes, they might not know what's going on. They don't know the business like you know the business. So you might be getting away with something. But at the end of it, for me, I know I answer to God. And so I know He sees everything that I'm doing. So that's what I'd be concerned about.
I am definitely concerned about God. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah.
I personally do not want to I don't want my name
scar your name
scarred.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah.
I really don't. While I am very much fearful of the Lord,
yeah,
I am fearful of not being able to get out in these streets and do what it is that I love to do.
Yeah.
And we even talked about this with the whole Sean Combs thing. Like, it really, I mean, at this point, his name is so tarnished. What can he do when he comes?
Whatever he wants to.
You think so?
Because he doesn't have imposter syndrome. So he gonna come out. He can come back home and he can go right back to being P Diddy, Puff Daddy, Diddy Love, whomever he wants to do. Yeah, because and then I was just, as you were saying that, I was thinking about the people where we're saying I don't want people to feel like I'm a bad person. I don't want my name to be associated with something bad. Some people don't care what you associate their name with because they're just doing what they're going to do anyway. They don't care what you're saying about them. They're going out here to make that money.
Right.
That's it. So I care. I'm with you. I care.
Very much so. Okay. Very much so. Now, y'all, the moment that, we're going to get into, the moment you knew it was you. Okay. We're going to get into it. Now, I always say that healing starts with telling the truth, even when the truth is ugly, okay? The idea that one might be the problem is crazy. I don't know why my stuff just want to keep messing with me today. But anyway, the idea that one might be the problem isn't about assigning blame in a malicious way, but instead it's about recognizing that while external factors can certainly play a role in, challenges, our own thoughts, behaviors, and decisions, this perspective also encourages self-reflection and a move away from a mindset that constantly seeks external validation or excuses. Consider someone who consistently struggles with relationship. A victim mentality might lead them to blame their partners for all their relationship problems. However, a perspective that acknowledges their own contribution might involve examining their own behaviors, communication styles, or even expectations. This self-reflection could lead to positive changes in how they approach relationships in the future. So let me ask you, Misha, what was your moment? Like the moment you said, you know what, hold on, girl. It might just be me. I might be the one causing the mess.
It was so talking to a guy that I was dating about, like, where are we going in this relationship, right? And as you mentioned, communication styles, he's very standoffish. He's very, let's table this for right now, we'll talk about it later. And so this was like a final straw for me, like, what are we doing here, whatever. And so he just didn't really respond in the way I was expecting him to respond.
How was you expecting it?
I was looking at yes, we're going to be committed to each other. Yes, I can see us getting married or something along that line. I was looking for this. We're headed in the same direction in our future. We're going to be together. That's it. And so he didn't even really say, no, we're not going anywhere. It was more like, let me think about it. Right. And so even as you mentioned, if a person is serious about you, they're going to let you know they're serious about you. But in that moment where he couldn't tell me, yes, we're going to be together, or no, we're not going to be together, I stopped, and it's like I had a flashback to one of the first conversations that we had. And he told me in that conversation, I'm talking like the first month maybe that we were going out. And he said, one of us might get hurt. So I'm very Bravo, I'm macho Misha. So when he said one of us might get hurt, I was like, I knew he wasn't talking about me. I didn't tell him that, but in my head I was like, oh, he's gonna be hurt. Oh, that's sweet. But I would never do him like that. That's the story I made up in my head. He's talking about himself being hurt, but I would never hurt him. And I was like, well, cool, don't worry about it. It's gonna be all good. But here we are.
What do you think he meant by that, though? That somebody might get hurt? Like, who did you think he was talking about?
Oh no, he was talking about me.
Okay, why though? Why did you? Because of like him who he is.
Because he knew that he wasn't in a space to be married.
Okay.
Just if we're talking about Dr. Bryan and how she said this man that she's dating wasn't emotionally available, he wasn't emotionally ready. This gentleman wasn't emotionally ready, whatever he had dealt with, and so he was saying, for me, you're going to get your feelings hurt. But he didn't just come out and say that. I probably would have done better with that. Maybe not. I probably would have denied it because it's me. I'm the problem.
What did you do? So what did you do with that information?
Okay, so when I'm having this conversation now, because we're years down the line, and I'm like, damn, where is this going? As soon as I had that flashback about him telling me one of us is going to get hurt, it was an aha. He was talking about me. He was saying I was going to get hurt. And here I am. I'm hurt. I'm like, what are we doing? I'm hurt.
So did you stay in a relationship with him after he said that?
So we were,
What? Now you over here stuttering.
I'm doing, okay. So yes.
Yes. So how much longer were y'all in a relationship once he told you? Like how much longer did it go?
So it never stopped me from having a friendship with him. Okay. That's what changed. That aha moment, like, oh, you're not certain about what we're gonna do or where we're headed as the man, especially because as a man, I feel like you're in the position of leadership in a relationship. You say where this is gonna go. So the moment now I've had this aha that I'm hurt. That's what you meant initially, and we're not going forward together, then we can just be friends now. I can converse with you. I can be cordial with you, but there's no more me having a personal or an intimate relationship with you, because that's not what you want. It was just like that. It was just like that. And that was it. Now, are we still friends? Yes. Do I still in the back of my mind feel like, because he was such a solid person, like if you've heard people talk about having a twin flame, this was the most beautiful thing about that relationship. Was he was really just a mirror for me, of reflection of who I am, how I treat people, and actually allowed me to figure out what I wanted in my life. So that was my plus of being in this relationship. Because even as we just spoke about people being in whatever it is, it could be an intimate relationship, it could be a business relationship. Sometimes we're in these relationships and we're fighting so much just to keep this friendship going or to keep this partnership going, that we never have time to see ourselves. So there was the difference in having this relationship with him. There was so much time for me to reflect and figure out, Misha, you don't like that he does that. I could never be married to somebody who does that. Or, Misha, that thing that you said you would never deal with, you're dealing with it, and it's really not that bad. That was what was really great about the relationship with him, and why it wasn't like I'm cutting him off. I never want to talk to him again. He wasn't rude to me, never physically harmed me or anything, never said anything verbally to me that was wrong. It was just the idea that I had made up in my head about where our relationship was going to go was not the idea that he had in his head, and that was it. So
and I was sharing with you before the show, I think it was Judge
Toller.
And she has this quote, and we've all said it, and it's, don't let a man tell you more than once. Well, she said don't let him tell you more than once he doesn't want to be with you. But for me, I just feel like that could be applicable to anything that a man tells you, because we hear that men, for them, their word is bond. If they said it, they meant it. And so I know in my younger years, I would definitely would try to tell myself, oh, well, he didn't mean it like that, or he didn't. It's like, girl, no, stop. Stop making excuses. Stop.
What you say?
Yeah, just like we have to pay attention to the word. And I tell my daughters this all the time, to pay attention to what a man is saying, and also what his actions are showing you.
What is it lining up?
Telling me. I remember, the rumor was even, because I'm a barb and I'm a bee. I'm in the beehive too.
Okay, girl.
And they said Jay-Z was begging Rihanna. I mean, not Rihanna. Lord Jesus. Lord, it's going to be a rumor. I did not.
I wish he was begging me.
Jay-Z was begging Beyonce for them babies. For every baby they have.
Okay.
Because she was, focused on her career.
Yes.
And I, tell my kids that, you want to, that's where you want to be. You want to be in a situation where, he's practically eating cupcakes out your ass. I mean,
come on now.
That's not happening.
Yes.
Yes. That's what you want. Because
yes.
we know what it feels like to be wanted, to be desired, because at one point with these men, we felt that, So I feel like a lot of times, your tuition is telling you, what is not to do, but it's like we want to keep giving them 5 points. Well, I'm gonna give them 5 points. I'm gonna give them don't give him 5 points. He told you, believe what he said, and move on.
Okay, so to what you said about the believing him and just knowing what to look for, I feel like that's an issue for some of us, is knowing what a relationship should look like. So definitely for me, and so just very personal, because you say that when we're having these conversations, this is in hopes to help someone in the way it has helped me, right? So one of the books that I mentioned to people is called It Didn't Start With Me.
Okay.
And the book, it takes you through figuring out, why are you the way you are? Why do you think the way you think? Why do you accept the things that you accept or whatever? So I grew up in a household raised by my mother and supported very heavily by my grandmother. My parents had been married, but my dad did something when I was probably about 1, and so my dad ended up going to prison. So my mom raised me on her own. So I never got to see my mother in a functioning marriage with a man that loved her and catered to her and did these things for her, right? Gotcha. So I don't have that picture of a relationship growing up. That's not what I saw. So for me, dating, what I thought was okay in dating is very different from someone who grew up with a mother and father who loved each other, who catered, who supported, or whatever. Very different picture. So at this point in life, a lot of it has been for me reassessing what I think a relationship, what I think it's supposed to look like, and having a solid, hey, this is not what I want in a relationship. This is what I want in a relationship. So, like I said, just for me, I'm sorry, that's okay. A lot of it for me is, like I said, just reading and doing self-assessments of what's not matching up. That's something else you mentioned is in dating people or having these relationships, you got to have a goal set for yourself of what you want. Like, this is where I'm headed. I'm headed to marriage. That's it. I'm not looking for anything. I'm not looking for one-night stands. I'm not looking for long-term. You
got to stand on it.
Yeah, be serious about it.
You have to stand on it.
Yeah, so I can communicate that now, that this is what I'm looking for, and I can move in that way now that I'm working toward my marriage. So then I don't have to deal with anybody who's not looking for that same thing. We don't have to waste time or anything on something else. I'm strictly about marriage. I can be cool, have some friends, but I'm getting married. So,
why do you think it's so hard for women to focus like on the goal, the overall, the big picture?
Because we don't know to focus on the goal. Like who's telling you that? Who's telling you to focus on?
And but at some point though, I mean, because like you said, I mean, I get when you were a teen, you were growing up in the house, you didn't see these things, okay? But you knew at some point you became an adult, you knew what you wanted, and, you started having your own life experiences, and you would have, maybe could see how to get to that destination. Because we know you don't now. There's so many different types of, women, okay? But I feel like the women who are looking to gain the husband, they don't do the shit that the girls that like are because the
girl, let me tell you, I have some friends that are married, and I be like, God damn, how she get married before I did? Like, what the? Oh my God, yes. What is the? I mean, it could be anything. It could be people have different lifestyles that they live.
But I'm saying, like, what is it about that would make you say, how did she make it before I did? Like, what is it? Like, give me
man, she could be wild, and she's out at every party, and she's got 100 different men, and I go home every day, and I clean up the house. She has stuff all over the house, and I mean, it could be anything. I don't know, anything. Just I really feel like I present well, and I feel like I'm very honest about whatever, and that could be an issue too. I know some people fake into marriage.
Oh yeah.
Some people pretend to be somebody to get into the marriage. I don't want any of that. I don't want to, we got married and I thought you were this way and you thought I was this way, and now 10 years down the line we really hate each other. Now we're talking about getting divorced. I don't want to go through any of that. I want you to know this is what you're getting. This is me.
Well, I guess you're right. Okay, you're right about that. That is true. But I guess I'm thinking of something else, and it's a whole nother show, so I won't even open up that can.
Well, I'm gonna tune in for that one because I need to know. Yes.
Because ultimately, you're right. That can go on with some because in my opinion I feel like those women really didn't want to get married. Like some people, they're not everybody has their own agenda.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so maybe the real agenda wasn't the agenda for you.
My agenda is probably the same as some of those women. I mean, when if people ask me, like, what kind of guy do you like? So first off, just want this guy to be aligned. I feel like we need to both have a relationship with God. You know, it's going to be different levels because all of us have a different level. But I feel like if we have this foundation where we can go look at this word, just like I bring up books, so that everything we're talking about today, when we're done with the podcast today, people can leave and say, what was that book that she said? Let me go read that.
It in the description to you guys.
Right. They can leave and go look at this resource. It's not just because Mesia said that. It's because this is an actual resource. You can go read this for yourself. You can go share this with someone. So for me, the Bible is my basis. It's on just the basis of how to treat people and how to love people. So first, that's that. We have this basis. But I definitely want to be married to a husband that can provide for our family. I know that I love staying at home. I might want to be a housewife sometimes. I love being at home. I love cleaning up and taking care of your clothes and doing all this and cooking and figuring out how to make life great for you. And so that's a turn off right there for the wrong man. And that's perfectly fine because that means we're not supposed to be together. So maybe it's about me, you know, now that I know and I can verbalize those things. For a long time, I felt kind of standoffish about saying those things because you don't want to rub people the right way, because then they'll say you're a gold digger. I'm not a gold digger because I want my husband to be able to take care of our household. That's just, in my mind, that's what my husband is going to be able to do for us to have the best life possible. Absolutely. So if the guy can't deal with that, that's perfect. We won't waste each other's time. So now I don't know what them other people's, maybe that's what their goal is, but then they don't start doing the stuff that man would want for this woman that stays at home. I'm going to do that stuff, honey. Just
you're going to do all the things.
All the things. Preferably in the forest. If we could go live in the forest somewhere, preferably. That's what I would prefer. But, you know, whatever. We'll get into that later. But yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why we don't have the goal set. Again, I think maybe for some of us, we've just never seen that thing in front of us that we want or had a mentor for it.
Okay, let me say that. This is what I want to say to that. Okay, so we hear guys who say, well, you know, I don't have a daddy and I didn't have this. But I just feel like even with that, even though you didn't have those things in front of you, at some point you knew what you wanted and you knew what you didn't want. And, you know, just like with anything else, we find out how to get those things. So I don't know. I don't like that excuse.
So it's not only just getting it. Anybody can get a wife. I could have 1,000,000 husbands. It's guys in the DM all the time that want to take me out or do whatever it is, right? Okay. But here we are again. I know that you're going to be wasting my time. I can read and see the things that you do every day and the way that you converse, and I know that we would never work out. So a guy could find a wife. There's plenty of women that want to be a wife, but are we going to be aligned? And do you know what to do to keep the wife? Do we know how to, something you said earlier, do we know how to communicate with each other? Do we know each other's love language? Do I know that a man who doesn't want to be touched, he can't be my husband? I'm so touchy-feely. I'm going to rub on you all day long. And if you don't like that, we'll never work out. You like dogs. I have allergies. We can't be together. I'm not sneezing for the rest of my life because you want that. So, yeah. So you know, that might be, to me, part of the issue. Or a man who says, I need a woman who can cook. Maybe this young lady grew up in a household where nobody ever taught her to cook. They go out to eat every day. All she really needs is somebody who will guide her. So whether that's you paying for her to go and have a chef to teach her, or whether you're a phenomenal cook and you take the time out to teach this woman, that's sexy as hell. Do you know what we finna do in this kitchen if you're teaching me how to cook? Oh my God. Okay, let's keep going.
I don't know. Y'all jump in the comments, okay? And let us know, you know, what was that aha moment for you when you knew that you were the problem.
Yeah, okay? Yeah.
For me, it was, I'll tell you this. Okay, so my dad, he's in the hospital. You know, he's been dealing with congestive heart failure for a while. And so he pulled me and my siblings together because he wanted to, you know, I don't even gonna say right his wrongs, but you know, he wanted to talk to us about what he did in the past that could have affected, you know, our relationship. And of course, you know, my thing was my teen pregnancy. I've told you guys, the moment my parents found out that I was pregnant, I grew up in a 2-parent household. The moment my parents found out I was pregnant, child, it was over.
That's it.
It was over. My daddy did not talk to me the whole pregnancy. And then, soon as I had my daughter, he was the doting pawpaw. You wouldn't have thought none of it ever happened. And, you know, it was really crazy. So because of that, you know, me and my dad, we did have a contentious relationship until the day that I got kicked out of the house with my 2-year-old, okay? Now, during our discussion that we had, my parents, they gave us a little bit more clarity about the day I got kicked out of the house because I was missing some pieces that I forgot, like how disrespectful my mouth was. Girl, I slapped my daddy hand when he was trying to cut a light off. I mean, like, yeah,
you see?
When they said that, I was like, me, I did that. But yeah, real rebellious, stubborn, you know, the whole nine, okay? And I was like, dang, it is so interesting because I actually started, you know, pushing those memories down. Like, literally, when they were telling me about it, I was like, it was almost like, it was like I was remembering it. It was like the memory just like, it was like just a switch had come. I could see me slapping my daddy hand. I know exactly, like, yep, I did do that. Like, girl, what was you thinking? Now, not to say, because my cousin, I was talking to a family member about this. And she said that her dad did them the same way before he passed. And when I was telling her about, I didn't really get it to go real deep into it, but just kind of like what I'm telling y'all, she said that they should not have been trying to catch my memory up. Like, that conversation he should have just let me say what I had without the, like, pointing out what I did.
Him filling in the blanks. Why?
Well, and that's what I said. Because
Yes.
I was okay with him.
Yes.
With them filling in the blanks. Because, like I said, for me, that I am a person, I feel like I am, that I am good with accountability. And when they, like I said, as soon as when they were, like, telling me, and that memory, like, switched on, I was like, damn, I did do that. Damn, I did do that. Now, not to say that, because again, I'm the kid, you're the parent, and so some of those things that I did, I'm not saying that I'm not gonna say I was all the way wrong.
It didn't change the way you felt about what happened at that time.
No.
That's what it was. Your hurt happened when you got put out of the house. That was your hurt right there. And you stopped at, this hurt me. But as a human being, our brains are so perfect, or our brains are trying to help us so much that they do that. They repress those memories because your brain didn't want you to think about what you did. Your brain needed you to protect you and say, hey, you're leaving this house and you got this. You can go, you can be on your own.
Yeah. And you know what? It's interesting that you even bring that part, because I will tell you, I take issue with that. See, I take issue with, and that's why I was okay, like, with that switch coming on, because, like I said, I want to take accountability, and I don't want to feel, you know, if I was justified for behaving like this, you know, that's one thing, and I get that. But I don't want to use this thing to make me, you know, to give me the okay. And I see that, I think that's what people do. They'll use that issue
to villainize the other person.
Yes.
They feel that's just to
They
make them
do
the
that.
villain. Yes.
And I don't like that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you have to also take ownership for what you did. Because even though that person, even though I felt like the reason why I was probably rebellious and stubborn, maybe at the time I felt like my dad was antagonizing me. Okay, but did that give me the excuse, like, to slap his hand or to, to be disrespect. It's like, yeah, he did. Like, he's got to own what he did. And then I also have to own what I did in that.
Absolutely.
And so me knowing that part for me was like, okay, like, yeah, that wasn't, the situation in itself wasn't cool, because I would tell y'all that was the only time in my life ever that I felt abandoned by my daddy. The only time.
Yeah.
So it's not like he had a pattern of doing these things to me.
Yeah.
But because of that was a pivotal moment. I mean, I was a teen mom, and I didn't have the dude who got me in the situation. Like, where you at? So it's like I'm already feeling hopeless and helpless, and then my parents on top of that is like I wasn't looking for them to make me feel better, because you can't, it's like it was, my choice.
It was a support. You just needed the support. That was it. It was the support. But the time period, look at when you said it was, you were young. You were still a kid. That's so much of what the way we handle people. We don't realize that we're talking about kids. Even my son is 16, so I still have to remind myself that even as mature as his conversation is, because he can talk you down. I have to remind myself, this is a kid. He's talking based on what he's heard me say, or now the internet, something he's read on the internet. He hasn't had these experiences. He hasn't really gone through this thing. So his maturity level on that is really not what it seems like it is.
That's what I wish my parents would have gave me then.
Yeah.
Like, my parents, they're baby boomers. And so we know them baby boomers, baby, they don't conform. You got to come over to their way.
Absolutely.
They're not going to come to your way. And that is like, like and that was another reason why I was able to, it took a minute for me to, because like I said, he never asked even to this day, he's never apologized for it.
Oh, they're not going to apologize. Absolutely not.
He probably feels justified in why he did whatever he did.
Yes.
But I had to forgive him without the apology, which that in itself is hard, to forgive someone who didn't even ask you to forgive them. But I did that after I started having more kids. So I have 3, but there's a 10-year gap between the first and the second one. And that was showing me that, dang, these kids are different.
Absolutely.
But it's like my parents knew that. They knew that they have 3. We're none of the 3 of us are alike. And so I feel like the same way that light bulb came on to me, like, dang, we're like literally. I mean, we know we're different, but you really find that shit out when you start raising multiple kids. Like, really how different people can be in the same household.
And that they get a different parent, because you were a different mom with each one of those kids. Yeah.
And that too. So I feel like, knowing what I know, like, I gave them grace for that. But, at the same time, it was like, well, y'all knew something before I knew it. This was an aha moment for me at this age. Y'all been knowing this shit.
But do you know that they knew?
Yeah, they knew. Yes, I know that they knew. And the reason why I say yes, I know that they knew, because Mesia, ain't nothing new. I mean, like this, like when I say nothing new is that, like I said, they've been here before me. They come from families of 9 and 11.
See, but okay. So even saying that, you have 9 kids, there's not really a lot of time for introspection. There's not a lot of time for figuring out who a person is. You know their mannerisms. You know which kid did this. You know which kid is going to mess up and break stuff. You know which kid is going to sneak out of the house. But to really have depth and insight, a lot of our parents didn't have that, or grandparents, any of them. There's not that same what we have now, where we've been able to sit down and read books, or we've been able to listen to people like Dr. Brian or Umar, whomever we've been listening to, right, to get some insight into people's personalities and how they act. That's I'm going to say, especially in my family, about being seen. That's my thing that I think about now with dealing with people is, are you seeing this person? So I will say that I know in my family that they didn't see me like who I wanted to be, or what I wanted my future to be. Was I taken care of? Well taken care of. Had everything. Didn't need anything. Could participate in everything. But actually seeing me for who I am on the inside and what I wanted, they didn't have that insight. Now why they didn't, I don't know. And like you said, there's no making excuses, and at this point there's no holding on to it. But it is being I accept that they didn't know for whatever reason. So now it made me parent my son in a different way, to ask him stuff about himself and see him. So maybe your parents did, or maybe they didn't see Montana. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's one thing to have that mirror moment, but it's another thing to really start unpacking your own patterns. Like, what are some of the toxic traits that you were doing that you didn't even realize were holding you back?
Wow. So I would say the main thing for me, because this has been who I am my whole life, my toxic trait is I'm a dreamer, and have been a dreamer my whole life. And I know this from kindergarten. I remember my teacher wrote this note and sent it home to my mom and said, Mesia daydreams in class all day. Okay. So even today, I still daydream about, what life is and all these things. But if you're not making your daydreams match your reality, then you're living in a la-la land. So that's for me my toxic trait. So much so that not only am I dreaming for me, but in having a relationship with people, I'm also daydreaming, oh, I want them to feel this way, or, I think we could have this kind of life together. I could see this. So I'm seeing things for them that they're not seeing the same thing that I'm seeing. That's very toxic.
Right.
Yeah, it's very toxic.
Well, y'all, I will tell y'all, my little toxic trait is I have this thing. It's a gift and a curse. More like a curse, okay? Where I can self-sabotage some shit.
Absolutely.
Real quick, okay? Real quick. And, my mama, she used to say that, when I was little, I was like a peeper. I used to suck my thumb, and I used to just watch everything around me, okay? So nothing is going to get past me. Nothing. And because of that, like when I see patterns, people pulling back, you switching up, you doing some fake shit, I will be quick to pull the curtain, pull the plug, to protect my feelings.
Absolutely.
Because I know I'm crazy. I know I am, and I try to not show. I try my best, okay, to not give the people that.
Absolutely,
but that is something that I am real good at. And this is, I think, because of the abandonment that that I did feel as a teen. I think this is one of the reasons why I self-sabotage. Because, like I said, if I'm used to. Like you said, I'm not going to let anything hold me back because of what I've been through. I mean, I feel like, hey, if your mama and your daddy will put you out, I'm not going to let Mesia
put you out.
You hear me?
Yeah, forget that. Yeah.
No, never again. Like, that was for me the first and the last. And so I always resort back to that feeling of, okay, you think you finna get me? Well, I'm gonna show your ass. I'm like Muddy. You get them before they gotta get you. You gotta get them.
But does it always turn out that way, that they're trying to do something slick, or is it sometimes that's really not what's happening, but your mind is telling you that, and you have to learn to figure out, hey, my mind is just, playing a trick on me. That's really not what's going on.
Well, so
See, that's a relationship thing too, because some of us have a relationship that probably will work out, but because we've had something happen before, we're like,
That's something that I know. I was robbing myself of the clarity,
okay,
communication, and maybe even a chance to be surprised in a good way. You know, because that self-sabotage, it wasn't strength, it was just fear dressed up in intuition for me. It was, you know, what, again, based on my past. Okay, don't get me wrong, now my gut is still on point.
absolutely.
But now I have to ask myself, am I reacting to what's actually happening or what I think is about to happen?
Yes.
Based on my past pain. Because one of my good friends, she told me during her marriage counseling that the counselor told them to speak in truth, not feelings. You know, how you feel versus what's actually truth doesn't always look the same. So that question alone has stopped me from walking away from people who were actually good for me. You know, I just didn't know how to sit long enough to see it through.
That's good.
I'm thinking I'm protecting myself, but I was just being emotionally unavailable with some extra steps, okay?
That's good.
But, okay, you realize you're the problem.
Absolutely, I know. Yeah.
So you start doing the work, but let's be honest, growth is ghetto, okay? What did growth actually look like for you, Misha?
So again, for me, a lot of it is just it's introspect, and so again, here I am with a book suggestion. I read a book called Mother Hunger.
Okay.
I can't tell. Montana's going to put the links in. Yes. So I can't tell you the author or anything like that, but Mother Hunger, specifically because this is us talking to the women. Mother Hunger talks about, you know, females who miss some type of connection with their mom, being able to guide them or lead them or whatever. That I know a lot of women who have amazing relationships with their moms. We see them all the time and they're hanging out and they're doing things. But I know a lot of women who have horrible or no relationship at all with their mothers. And it's difficult to talk about that because the world kind of looks at you like, how could you feel that way about your mom? But no, this is real. Everybody doesn't have that great relationship. So Mother Hunger kind of takes you through some of the things that may have been left out of your life, or leadership. That's a big thing they talk about. To what you ask about being able to choose a partner, Mother Hunger talks about guidance needs a mentor. So somebody being able to tell you how to live your life in a certain way, you need leadership on that. Just like being a parent, somebody has to be able to tell you the right way to do the thing. So that's what it's been for me, is doing a lot of reading. I see a therapist to be able to look at my lifestyle back from childhood and then moving forward, even to right now, acknowledging what the issues were for me. And then more than anything for me, it's been what we said about goal setting. So saying, this is what I want in my life. And, you know, I can't put a time on a relationship, but I know the things that I'm looking for, where they tell you, make a list of what you want in your husband. You know, I know where we're going to live. I know the things that we're going to do. And then he'll add his part in and then stand on it. You know, that's the big thing right now. So just being firm about, this is actually what I want. I can see it. You got to be able to visualize this life you want to live, and start to walk in that person that you know you are. Start to walk in that person. So that's been the biggest change for me, is being honest about who I am, getting out of imposter syndrome, and walking in the Mesia that's married and has a beautiful relationship with her family, and you know, does all the things that I say I want to do. They're really happening. So yeah.
Well, for me, growth looked like having very uncomfortable conversations, telling people the truth, even when I wanted to sugarcoat it, and sitting with the guilt, and not sitting with the guilt, but more grace, okay? What I try to do now is get things off my chest, but make sure that I'm tasting the words before they're coming out of my mouth, okay? Because that is hard. So for the women listening who may be realizing that she played a part in some of her own chaos, what advice do you have for her?
The same thing. Do some reading to find out where your issues may lie. And to what you just said, to be honest. So I don't know why being honest is difficult. I don't, like you said, you don't know why people can't set goals for themselves. I don't know why we can't tell the truth. I guess I was talking to a friend today, and we were talking about the embarrassment and shame and judgment that people feel about acknowledging who they are. And I was like, you know what? F them people.
Right.
It's really what I said. Stop worrying about what people are going to say about you or what they're going to think about you, because people are living their lives, their real life, their best life. And we don't know what the hell people are doing behind closed doors. So be honest about who you are and the life that you want to live. And that right there is going to set you up to cut all the bullshit out. Like you just said that. You're getting the stuff off your chest and being mindful of how you say it, but you're saying it. Man, oh my gosh. That's the advice that I would give. Just be honest about who you are and what you want in your life.
Okay. Well, listen, accountability is not cute. It's not Instagrammable. It's not sexy. And it definitely don't get no likes. But it will save your life. Okay?
Absolutely.
Now, when I realized I was self-sabotaging and calling it being real, I had to sit with myself and admit that I was creating my own pain in some of those situations. Not every time, but enough, okay? And that's where accountability starts, with that question. What role did I play in this? Not to beat yourself up, but to free yourself. Because the gag is, when you're willing to do your own shit, nobody can turn it against you. Like, you take your own power back. So if you're listening right now and you're starting to realize that maybe it's you, maybe you ghost people, maybe you don't communicate, maybe you control everything because you're scared to get hurt, just know this: you're not a bad person. You're just human. And the fact that you can hear this and feel something, that means that the healing is already started. Okay, you don't have to be perfect or have it all figured out. 'Cause
Nope.
I sure as hell don't.
Nope.
But if you can get real with yourself and stay open, then growth will come. All right. Now, speaking of growth, this week's self-care spotlight is all about growth. Not just the emotional kind, but the kind you can actually see. All right. Now, our Deep Roots hair oil has been showing out lately. One of our sweet customers left a review saying that her hairline has literally started filling back in, and she's seeing real results after consistent use. The Deep Roots oil, you guys, is packed with potent herbs and oils that nourish the scalp, stimulate growth, and give your hair the love it deserves. Even if you've been protective styling, dealing with thinning, or just ready to get your crown back strong. So if you are in your growth era, mentally and physically, go grab a bottle. It's available now at sweetkittyclub.com, and you can use code PINKTABLE for a sweet discount. All right? All right, y'all. It is time for our Dear Kitty letter. And this is the segment where you guys get to send me your questions, your confessions, and situationships. And I do what I do best. I'm going to listen with love. I'm going to give a little wisdom and never judge, even if it sounds like I am. All right? And thank you, cousin, for submitting your letters to me, because I am honored that y'all let me in the group chat. Now, I'm going to tell y'all now, don't shoot the messenger, okay? But since Misha is here, we're going to let Misha read our Dear Kitty letter. Okay, Misha, take it away.
Okay, cousins, here we go. Dear Kitty, I work at the European Wax Center, and I just need you to tell the ladies something for me. Please make sure that Kitty is clean and fresh before you get on that waxing table and hit that butterfly pose. I'm saying this with love. But some of y'all be showing up straight out the gym, body still hot, leggings damp, and expecting me to wax a musty puss with a smile on my face. Ma'am, aren't there showers in the building? Now, don't get me wrong, I love my clients. I even have sent a few of them to Sweet Kitty Club for pearls and V-steams because I can't say it out loud, but I know when something ain't right. And would I be wrong if I went up on my prices during the summer? Because this Texas heat ain't the only thing burning up. Signed, Trying to Wax in Peace. That's terrible. That's a mess.
That's a mess.
That's a mess. A hot mess.
What did you tell me you saw on TikTok when we were talking about hygiene?
Oh, they said that there's a lady that's telling people to only shower every 2 days and to use an antibacterial soap on your body and on your private parts every 2 days.
That's all you need is every 2 days.
Every 2 days, just hit it. Just every 2 days.
Hit.
In the summer. In a 90-degree Texas heat.
Woo! Okay. Anyway,
Come on, Miss Sweetie. What we supposed to do?
Yeah. What do you think about? What's her name? What's the wax lady name?
Trying to wax in peace.
Okay. What you got for trying to wax in peace? What you got for?
I mean, well, honey, listen. So I think I have something called hyperosmia, and that's when you have like an extra scent smelling nose. So is that a real term? Is that real? Hyperosmia is a real term for people who can like I smell people's body odor, and I'll tell people like it can be strangers because it's heavy. It's not just like you walk by and it's a whiff. When I smell something, it's like a gag reflex. Hospitals, houses where people have pets, and they're like, "Oh, my house doesn't smell like." No, your house smells like this stinking dog or cat or whatever peed on the floor. Wow. Yeah, so I couldn't do it because you can tell she's hiding it. You can tell she said she couldn't say it. You go get on that table and be like, baby, man, I need you to go wash that thing. I couldn't do it.
I would have, yeah.
What you gonna do? So what do you? Okay, this is great because.
Well, let me tell you, even with the V steaming, because I did have
yeah.
boutique, we do V steaming. I sell V steaming kits.
Yeah.
I will tell y'all I've never. Because I'm not that close to the kitty, like the wax lady. Like, I mean, y'all literally, I remember one time I was getting a wax. My wax lady, she was really down. I was like, damn, like, girl, damn, like, what you... But anyway, so I'm not that close. So I've not had an experience like that. But I do... I hear this from waxers. Mm-hmm. Because I do have a couple of wax friends who have said, like, girl, like she said that they were suggesting bee steams and and things like that. But I just think, I mean, for me, if I'm gonna go get a wax, anything that anybody, even when I'm getting a pedicure, first of all, I don't walk out the house without washing my ass. Okay. But I'm damn sure not going to go to those places without a fresh. Like, if my wax is at 1, I'm getting out the shower at 12:15 on my way. Like, I want to be fresh. I just think that is so disrespectful to go anywhere and plop your ass on a table or a seat or anywhere, and you know that your kitty ain't right. Because you knew it. You knew it before I knew it.
Okay, so with that, like for me to have hyperosmia where I can smell everything, on the other end of that are people who can't smell at all. Like they literally cannot smell, seriously. Because I wonder that sometimes, do you ever around some people and you like, damn, they don't smell the breath or whatever it is, or you ever like, you don't smell yourself? Because they really cannot smell themselves. Like that's like real. That's a real thing.
But I would think when you pull your drawers down,
they can't smell.
There is a whiff.
They can't smell. They
Then if you can't smell, so if I couldn't smell, I think that would make me more hyper focused on like doing it because I can't smell it. So I want to make sure it's right. That's just me. Okay.
That's me too. That's me too. So what were you gonna tell?
You know what? I really just don't know. I don't even have words for this because I think that grown-ups, you know, I can. Some things.
You lost for words. I know it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, right?
Y'all cannot be skipping those showers. Y'all can't be doing none of that. But you know what we do have though? If you are a YouTube, if you follow Sweet Kitty Club on YouTube, we do have some hygiene videos. Definitely check those out. But what's her name?
Trying to wax in peace.
Trying to wax in peace. Baby girl, send me your address because I definitely want to send you some Sweet Kitty Club samples. Okay, so you could put them on your table for your customers, definitely. But yeah, that I don't know. I just feel like as an adult, like
people are nasty though. People are nasty, and that's. I'm telling you, that's it. People, that's it. That's even if as we've talked about how we make choices based on how we grew up. You know, some people grew up and they didn't have hygiene products. And so I substitute sometimes. And even working with the kids at the school, kids walk in and you smell the kid. And, you know, that might be a first question is, do you have cleaning products at home? People don't have cleaning products. People don't, females aren't taught to wash in a certain way, or especially during their cycle. Oh my gosh, baby, you don't know to clean that thing, but you don't know because nobody ever told you that. So there you go.
Well, y'all, look, if you want to submit your Dear Kitty letter, send me an email at pinktableconfidential@gmail.com. Listen, Mesia, thank you so much for pulling up to the pink table, keeping it real with us. These conversations are what make us better, okay? And for everyone listening, if you've ever had that moment where you realized you were the drama, I really hope this helped you sit with it in grace and not guilt, because you are not alone. You're not broken. You're just growing. And y'all, we're about to wrap up this intro series, okay? But don't worry, because, you know, Pink Table is going to always stay open. I've got so much more coming. So make sure you are subscribed, you're following, and you're telling your besties about this podcast. I hope you like this episode. You know, closed mouths don't get fed. So I'm going to ask you to like, to comment, and share, which helps our podcast grow. Okay, and remember, I am now on all platforms you like to hear your podcast. So right now, you can find our videos on Sweet Kitty Club and the After Parties YouTube. We're on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeart, and Apple Podcasts. Okay, so if you support what I'm doing, please go to one of those platforms I mentioned and leave our podcast a review. And follow us on IG and Facebook, Pink Table Confidential. Remember, the first step to healing is telling the truth, even when the truth is you, okay? Remember, happy women don't hate, and hating women ain't happy. Mesia, how can they stay in contact with you or find you, girl?
So I'm on Facebook. You can follow my business page. It's Mesia, Mesia Davis Realtor. Everything will be there. If you want to know anything about the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, buying or selling a home or leasing.
How is the market, by the way?
Okay, so the market depends on location. We talk about that all the time. Just depends on where it is you're looking to buy, what price range you're looking in. So for some people, if there are a lot of houses on the market right now. Prices are so high that sellers' houses are staying on the market. So if you were looking before and you were not able to find a home, or you were tired of competing with other buyers, this is a great time for you to get back in the market and see if you can find that home that you wanted. Some sellers are dropping prices because the houses are sitting on the market for a really long time. So if before you couldn't find it and you want to see if you can kind of catch a deal right now, even builders, even new construction, they're offering a lot of incentives. It's a great time to look at purchasing a home. For sellers, kind of just depends on where you are. If you have a lot of competition, your house may be sitting on the market a little longer. If you're in an area that's really hot for sales right now, up north, the northern cities north of Dallas, it might be a great time to put your house on the market. Summertime, kids are out of school, that's when people like to move. So you can call me. I'd be happy to help you if I'm in your area. If I'm not in your area, I love referring my really close real estate professionals to help out my clients.
That's what's up.
Thanks for
girl.
asking.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mesia, for coming and stopping by. Hopefully, you'll come back one day and get in on another topic with me.
I can't wait to come back with my husband. I can't wait to come back with my girl. I cannot wait.
You bring your husband with you, so what?
I can't. So we can. Well, I mean, he can't come. Because this is about the ladies. But I'm just gonna come with my ring. I'm gonna be like,
So
girl.
you gonna do the okay? You gonna do me like that?
I'm gonna be holding the mic.
Is there somebody in the running?
No, I just said that. I'm not even. So what you said is to be truthful with yourself, to figure out what you want. What are your goals? I have to work on me first, because me being in a relationship probably would have been unfair for my husband, and it would have been unfair for me. But now, we straight now.
You straight?
We straight, girl. We straight now. So call me.
Well, I love that. Call her. Okay, call Mesia. Okay, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in to Pink Table. I am really enjoying. I'm really enjoying this, and I cannot wait until the next season. I'm getting to together some really hot topics for y'all. So
Yeah.
y'all get ready and stay tuned. But you already know we are going to get out of here, y'all. Until next time, we will see you next week. Okay, right here, same time. Peace, y'all.